actually. Ambarish Baliga is managing partner at Edelweiss Global Wealth. Ambarish, good morning. Good to have you here. So, I mean, it sounds just too simplistic, but that's all the market is. Up or down? What's your view from here? Because we've been up and down and down and up, and essentially we've not gone nowhere. What's your view?
No, that's true, but I don't think the downside is huge from here. I think we have seen those levels of closer to 1500. I think that is the bottom for the market, at least till the elections. And over a period of time, at least before elections, I see a rally, which anyway I've been expecting for a while, and we have seen that in the last 20 years. This is what I've been repeating every time. And I don't think this year is going to be different. It could be a shorter rally in terms of time period, because I think we have another 2.5 months more for the elections. And by that time, I see the markets at, possibly new highs. And for that to happen, we have to cross that 6150 decisively, which is, I think, the first stop where it will get stuck, and it's been getting stuck for a while at those levels. It's not able to really cross that, but I see that happening over the next possibly few weeks, and then we should see levels of closer to about 6500.
Got it. Thanks, Ambarish, for that quick view. I'm coming back to you for more market openings, so let me just read out prices as they start. So what? Sensex is up 80 points and Nifty is up about 20 points. 8% lower. That's about rupee and 70 paise off on Sri Renuka. It's come back to the open offer price. Wild speculation last couple of days. Price will be 30, 35, 40. Prices. I mean, the price yesterday at close was 22. The open offer price is about 20 and a half odd rupees or so. So it's coming off. But as I was saying earlier, I mean, it's not all bad for Sri Renuka, given the dire circumstances it has been in. And even this deal will just help them retire some of their Indian debt. There is a humongous amount of debt that Sri Renuka has in its overseas subsidiary. It acquired that plant, and it acquired actually a couple of assets abroad in Brazil. So we have some perspective on that as well in just a bit. HDFC is up about 1/3% plus. IDFC is higher. Tata Power is up 0.5%. Sesa Sterlite is up 0.16. Coal India is up 0.5%. Jindal Steel and Power is up 0.9. HCL Tech is up 0.6. HDFC Bank is up a little bit. Ranbaxy is up 0.6. IndusInd Bank is up nearly 1%, 388. Larsen at about 1,040, 0.5% higher. Ranbaxy is up 0.6%. Punjab National Bank 534. NTPC 131.5, a quarter higher. Asian Paints at about 463. Axis Bank at about 1167. ONGC starts in the negative side, but it's a positive start as far as indices are concerned this morning. Keep an eye out on Jaiprakash Associates. The stock is starting higher. There is a report in, I think, Mint, the newspaper, that Ultratech is interested in buying out Jaiprakash Associates' assets in Himachal Pradesh, and that deal, if it does go through, is worth about 4,000 crores or so. And that's again a story of deleveraging. So 42, 1.75% higher. By the way, JP's and Ultratech are still awaiting approvals for that 5 million ton per annum cement asset which was sold in Gujarat. That's still awaiting closure and all of that. I'll bring in Pankaj in on this in just a bit. But let me just take a quick look at what else is happening. Nifty's settling up about 30 points or so right now. As far as the top gainers and losers go, Jaiprakash is up, the top gainer, 1.5%. JSPL is up 1%. ICICI Bank is up 1%. IndusInd Bank is up nearly 1%. Infosys is up about 1%. Axis Bank is up nearly 1%. Bank of Baroda, Wipro, Ranbaxy and Grasim are up about 0.75% apiece. So that's what you have. 49 out of 50 names are higher. Bharti is down about 0.25% or so. Is down a quarter. So that's the only stock which actually is lower as far as the Nifty goes. So it's a good start. Okay, I'll lay out the mid-cap pack, etc. in just a bit. Amrish, I interrupted you there. Please complete your point on the market that you were making. And then I want you in on Sri Renuka as well, if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, in fact, like what I say, talking about the markets, overall I'm quite bullish, and I would say that any sort of dips should be utilized to buy, and I think we have got enough opportunities in the past couple of months to buy at lower levels. And in case whatever the opinion polls are coming finally comes true, I think we are in for a big bull market post-elections. So I think we should get prepared for that. But I'm not saying that one should just keep on holding on to the stocks which you are buying now. Surely before elections you need to book out to a certain extent if you see a good rally. Because whatever said and done, despite the opinion polls, things can turn out to be different, and that's exactly what we have seen in 2004. So one should not take, a complete call on the elections and hold on, but book out to a certain extent at higher levels. And as far as Renuka is concerned, I would say that there's nothing really for the shareholders in the short term, because of which we have seen the stock crack after the move which we have seen in the last 2 or 3 days. But Wilmar coming in surely is positive for the company in the longer term. So from that point of view, possibly I'll just hold on, because we have not seen a decent sugar cycle in the past couple of years. But I think over the next possibly 3 or 4 quarters, we should see the sugar cycle again starting to move up. And that is the time you'll have all these underperformers really performing extremely well. We have seen that in the past when we have seen all these stocks becoming multi-baggers in the up cycle. So I think one should still hold on to Renuka and stocks like Balrampur Chini.
Okay, fair enough. So don't get too hopeful on these opinion polls and projections, etc. Be careful. That's the advice. But in terms of things to do, Amrish, what are those?
In fact, sort of sectors, I would still possibly hold on to IT, pharma in my core portfolio. But then in the portfolio where I would look for an alpha, surely we have been buying the stocks in capital goods space. We have been buying in infra space, which is where we see a major move going ahead. And along with that, we are there in the private sector banking space, auto ancillaries, some of them which I've named in the past also, which have given decent returns as of now, but we are still holding on. Motherson Sumi, Bharat Forge, these are the stocks which have given good returns. Crompton Greaves and Voltas are our picks in the past couple of weeks, where we see that you should at least get about 40-50% sort of a return over the next 9 to 12 months.
Yeah. Pankaj is joining in right now. Pankaj, good morning. So let's just sort of talk about JP Associates. Humongous amount of debt again. 4,000 crores is what the news report suggests they can get by selling some of their plants in Himachal Pradesh. That itself will still be just a drop in the ocean, but it's something. Let's just talk about what the report says. I think this is a report from the Mint, the newspaper. Let's put it out, Pankaj.
So Prashant, as you said that they have done a deal with Ultratech earlier, which is still yet to complete, which is the Gujarat plant, and now we're getting some media reports which suggest that even the Himachal Pradesh cement plant may be in talks with Ultratech Cement. Now, what we can pick up from reports is that Ultratech is likely to buy JP Associates Himachal Pradesh plant. The deal could be valued at 4,000 odd crore. Remember, even the earlier deal was at about 4,000 odd crores, but it was a large part of debt that they took on the books and not the actual cash, as one would say. Values the Himachal Pradesh asset at $160 a ton, which is not particularly bad. About 155, 160 is where most of the cement companies globally trade per ton. JP Associate has 6.2 metric ton capacity, or rather 6.2 million ton capacity in North India. Ultratech could add close to about 6% to their current capacity base if and when they acquire this plant. But remember that they earlier bought the Gujarat plant. That Gujarat plant is still yet to conclude. We had seen in the results that how the EBITDA marginally slipped below the interest cost that they have. So they need to deleverage. There's no doubt about it. And now, they have this one Gujarat plant getting complete, and probably, they could be talking for another one again to Ultratech, which could add a good 6% to Ultratech's entire capacity, with Himachal Pradesh plant at about $160 a ton, which is broadly in line with where most of the global cement players are trading at.
But it's more than what they did in Gujarat, right? I mean, the price that they'll pay per ton, I think it's slightly higher.
Yes.
Compared to what they paid in Gujarat, in the case of Gujarat. Thanks very much, Pankaj. So that's Jaiprakash Associates and Ultratech. We'll try and get sort of confirmation from either parties. Don't expect much. If deal is under consideration, don't expect parties to talk. But just putting it out there for you. JP is still the biggest gainer. BOB is picked up a little bit as well, 1.5%. ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, still banks actually, all up 1 to 1.5% each. IndusInd is up 1%. PNB is up nearly 1%. HDFC Limited 800, almost 800 now. State Bank is up about 1%, 1493 right now. Rajat, the levels and the markers, etc., that you put are markers for the near term, right? But what would be levels which give you the indication that a big, decisive, meaningful move is coming? Because both on the downside and upside, the levels that you put out are what? 10, 15 points apart. So it's a very, very tight band.
I would say that if, say, somebody is deciding to play on the long side, having looked at the market, can still do so if it were to stay above, say, 6122 for the spot Nifty. And if it were to fall below 6092 again, then there is no question of holding long positions. Chances are that we would slide. But one thing I would like to mention here is that there are certain stocks like a Hero MotoCorp on which I have given a sell signal. If you look at the chart, especially the end of day chart, you will find that there is clear distribution happening over a period of several months. These kind of stocks are best avoided on the long side because at higher levels there will be sellers who have taken delivery, who would be looking for an opportunity to book profits. On the other hand, if this rally sustains, then some of the stocks which are showing relative strength, like say Larsen, like for instance say Jai Prakash Associates, which you people have talked about, it is showing real strength. And then on the mid cap side there are stocks like Tata Coffee, which if it maintains above 946 can actually move up to 958 to about 973 in the short term. Tata Coffee has actually formed a bottom. So there are select stocks that you can go on the long side, play on the long side if the market were to sustain. And if you were to play on a pullback, then I suppose ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, these are stocks that are best chosen because they have momentum, they move up pretty fast, that kind of stock. But I would be wary of going long in stocks like State Bank and BOB because BOB may move up due to huge short positions that got built up, so part of it is getting covered now. But at higher levels, once again, I expect selling to happen in PSU banks.
Yeah, so the preferred trade actually is to sell. I mean, where you find the opportunity, right?
Yeah, right. I would say that unless 6150 is taken out decisively, I wouldn't be betting on the long side because this market is too fragile, it seems. A little bit of negative news from the international markets. We see sell-offs happening. And 6150, say last Friday, when we were talking of 200-day moving averages being breached, then we all thought that the 6150 is the maximum upper limit that a pullback rally can take it up to. Beyond that, it would be difficult to sustain. So 6150 is very close by. Unless that is decisively taken out and large-scale position building happens, I don't think you should be playing on the long side close to a major resistance level.
Fair enough, got that. Rajat, Ambarish, thanks very much, gentlemen. Thanks for coming in and talking to us this Friday morning. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Let's take a break. We're back in 2 and we've got Sonal Verma joining in on the other side. And we also have some perspective coming in on the telecom M&A guidelines which were cleared by the DOT and some perspective on Sri Lanka as well. So a whole lot. Stay with us. We're back in 2.